Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Emily and I am a writer. You're probably coming here, a lot of you are probably coming here from my Instagram account. I have been a part of Writergram for a little over a year, almost a year and a half now, and I absolutely love it over there. Everybody is just so nice and so supportive, and I've just found so many wonderful friends. And starting authortube is something I've wanted to do for a while, so here we are. Like I said, welcome to my channel. This is the beginning of a new era, and I just finally decided it was time that I start this off. So I just wanted to take the time to properly introduce myself so you guys can get to know me a little bit. Like I said, my name is Emily. I am turning 18 this year, which is still really weird to say. I'm still in high school, so I'm having to balance my writing with my education, which honestly sometimes can be very challenging, but here we are, and it is not impossible. I'm here to tell you it's not impossible. Don't mind me looking down every so often, I have my iPad with a script so I don't get off topic and stuff, and I have some questions from you guys that I asked on Instagram of things you want me to answer and just to help me like guide along this proper introduction. So as far as other hobbies outside of writing and reading, I love to crochet, I love to knit, I love to sew. I haven't sewn for a while. I need to get back into that. Sometimes I paint. I have a Pinterest addiction. I love listening to music because I think that's a hobby because I listen to a lot of music. But yeah, I also love trying new hobbies. Like I would say one of my biggest hobbies is trying new hobbies. So I love to teach myself things or try to learn something new. So yeah. The ice is like already all melted, but it's okay. I wanted to start off by saying some of these questions were just about like writing advice and writing in general. I'll save those questions for like another video or a reel or something. I'll answer those differently. For right now, I'm just answering the questions that have to do with myself and with my specific projects and stuff, just to keep it in the same topic of introducing myself. So starting off with, what was the first book that got you into reading? So I started reading like avidly when I was about 13 or 14, like my 8th grade year. I had read a couple books like earlier in middle school, but not like consistently. I consistently started reading around 13 or 14. But I remember the first book, I'm going to be honest, I don't remember much about it, but the first book that really got me into reading was One of Us is Lying. I believe the author is Karen Mick something, but I am a mystery lover. I love mysteries. I also really like true crime, so I think that's one of the reasons that book really pulled me in. But I kind of want to reread that book because I want to see if it's actually a good book, because I don't know if I can trust my 14-year-old self's opinion on what a good book is. Next question is my favorite movies. If you look behind me, you can probably see most of them. We have Pride and Prejudice, Pirates of the Caribbean, we have Emma, Pride and Prejudice again, and you can't see it, but higher up on my wall, this entire wall is full of posters, by the way. I have Anne of Green Gables up there. I have North and South and some Gracie Abrams posters, and then we have like Little Women right here. So honestly, I have a lot of favorite movies, but those are probably my all-time favorites. And Princess Diaries too. I think I have watched that movie, not even joking, probably more than 30 times. Like, I love that movie so much. I love and hate this question, but my favorite book, I hate having to pick one, but I also do have one. Let me go grab it. I'll be back in a second. My favorite book is I Fell in Love with Hope by Lang Haley. I love this book. If you don't recognize it, it's because this is the self-published version. I bought this book as soon as she self-published it. I genuinely love this book so much, not just because of like the messages and like the lessons in it. I don't know why I blanked there for a second, but it's just so beautifully written, and I did annotate the entire thing. You can see the tabs. I matched it with the flowers and stuff. I actually don't have a copy of the traditionally published one. I love both covers, but I honestly just have I love the cover of this book so much. I think it's just so beautiful. It's so beautiful. So yeah, this book inspires me as a writer, but also I love it as a reader. So it is both of those things for me. So this leads me to my next question. What are some of your favorite books or books that inspire you? There's obviously this one that has inspired me a lot. I would say there's another book I have, which I'm gonna have to get up to get it again. I should have put a pile beside me. One second. So this is a book that inspires me specifically as a writer. It is Long Lost by Jacqueline West. I've actually never seen this book talked about anywhere. This book is young adult, but I would say it's on the younger part of young adult. So I'd say maybe 12, 13. It follows this family, and they're moving to a new city or whatever, because the older sister does ballet, if I remember right. Oh, figure skating. So they have to move to a new city, and the younger sister starts feeling left out because she feels that her sister only cares about the figure skating and stuff. And one day she's exploring and she finds this library kind of with a magical kind of vibe to it, and she finds this specific book, and she reads the book, and through reading the book she sees herself and her sister in the book, if that makes sense. But the reason I love this book is because reading the book feels exactly like what it looks like the cover of the book. Reading this book, it feels exactly like this. I just think it was so, and it was just written so beautifully, and I was just it was so enticing, and I did not want to put it down. I wanted to know every single thing that happened. So yeah, this is another favorite. Next question is my favorite color. I would say my favorite color is I love greens. I've always loved green. I love all pastel colors, honestly, even some I really like some muted colors, but I would say green, purple, those two would probably be my favorite. When did you know you wanted to become an author? Honestly, there wasn't a specific moment that I remember. I wish there was. That would be so nice. But like I said, I started reading around 13, 14, and that's when I started writing when I was 14. And around that age is when I found authortube, and a lot of people here really inspired me. And it had never really clicked to me. It's oh, obviously I know people write these books, but I didn't realize there were younger writers like me, or that there were just so many writers out there. I just never realized that. So just seeing other people pursuing their dreams like that, it inspired me. And I've always been a big daydreamer. I daydream all the time. I'm always having stories play in my head. So even before I was a writer, that was always happening. So I would say that's where it came from. This kind of came naturally. What motivates you to write? I would say a lot of things motivate and inspire me to write. Motivation is honestly just the idea of now that I have this YouTube channel, of being able to in the future hold my book here and literally say guys, you can buy my book on so and so date. I'm so excited for you to read it. Or just honestly the idea that my book could potentially be somebody's favorite book one day. So I guess that's a good motivation. Also, more for inspiration, obviously God inspires me. I am a Christian. Nature inspires me. Reading a bunch inspires me. So, but more motivation is just thinking about the future and all of whatever I can achieve. So, yeah. Are you attending college or my college plans and stuff? I am planning to go to college, and I want to major in English. Don't really know what department yet, but I know for sure it's going to be somewhere in English, and I'm thinking I want to take a minor in history because I have a love for history as well. So I really like this question. How do you keep your love for writing alive? So like I said before, I think reading is very, very important as a writer. Obviously, lately with myself, I've been kind of in a reading slump. I've literally read 2 books this year, which is very embarrassing to admit and say it out loud. But yes, I have only read 2 books this year, and I'm trying to fix that at the moment. I just haven't had the energy or the motivation to get back into reading and stuff, because I know it's something I love, but it's just, I don't know. I'm gonna get out of that habit though. But I'd say reading is very important, and I have noticed that when I am avidly and consistently reading every day, that's when it's easy for me to sit down and write my next chapter, because I have so much inspiration and just like nourishment to my mind that it's just easy for me to put more words on the paper. I forgot the exact wording for the question, but I know there's a question asking me about how I got into poetry, or just poetry in general. I have my poetry notebook right here. I'm actually newer to poetry. This is my poetry notebook. I'm only, you can see where that is. It's only about halfway in, because I don't write poetry as much as I would love to. I would like to get in the habit of like writing a poem a day, but sometimes I just don't have the inspiration. But I think what got me into poetry specifically was I like being dramatic, and with poetry I can literally dramatize anything. So I would say I like it because I like being, I don't know, I like being dramatic sometimes, but also poetry has been very healing for me. I feel like poetry really helps me understand what I'm feeling and to like get past certain feelings or to just process certain feelings. I also like it because poetry is, I wouldn't say it's easy, but it's short, so you don't have to like edit it as much, and you get that feeling of completion much faster than you would with like writing a novel or something. So I really enjoy poetry because, yeah, it's short, sometimes it's sweet, sometimes it's always fun. I only write sad poetry, though. I don't think I've ever really written happy poetry. It's kind of like an inside joke I have with myself of, I will literally, sometimes I'll sit down and I'll try to write happy poetry, and then I just don't like how it sounds. It's like, this is embarrassing, this is cringy, or like, this is just, I don't like it. And then I like make it have a backstabbing ending, and I'm like, yeah, that's good. I like how that sounds. Okay, now we're on to the fun part, what probably most of you are here for, which is me talking about my projects. So that leads us to the next question. How many work in progresses do you have? I would say, like any writer, the list is endless. My notes app can show for that. My Word documents, not my Google documents alone, I have so many Google Docs, it's like actually embarrassing. I don't even know what the total is, and I don't think I even want to know. So the first one is Project Eclipse. Project Eclipse is a dystopian cyberpunk novel that I recently, well, actually it hasn't been recently. I first got the idea, I think, in October of last year. Don't quote me on that. Hold on, let me look actually, because I made a post about it. Oh my gosh, never mind. It was July. Oh wow, this project is old. I first got the idea in July. It was just the idea that I wanted to write something like a cyberpunk kind of futuristic vibe, but the original idea came from I wanted to write a book where there was a hero and a villain and them having to work together in close proximity, but like a secret from everyone else. And I put hero and villain in like quotations because that's not really how the world is. It's not really like a hero-villain type of world. But I'll just go ahead and read you like the little blurb, synopsis, whatever you want to call it, and then I'll talk about it a little more. Allies in secret, enemies in public, both against the government. Vess, a girl who was presumed dead years ago, spends her time in the abandoned underground subways of a once profound city. Kai, a well-known enforcer, hides behind a mask daily while trying to uncover the secrets of the people he should respect the most. Together, they must find the truth before they are exposed. That's not like the final synopsis, I would say. Like the last sentence I'm probably going to tweak a little more. I do love the first sentence because I say that's like the tagline for the entire book of allies in secret, enemies in public, both against the government, because I think that really, it summarizes the entire book in one sentence, because that's just the whole vibe of the book. I'll talk more about each project in detail, but I'm just going to go through and read the synopsises. You know what I mean for all of them. Next one is Unspoken Words. This book is very dear to my heart because it was the first book I ever wrote. No, it is not finished or anywhere near finished, even though it's the first thing I started. That's a conversation for later. This book is a literary fiction mystery romance, and it has academic rivals to lovers in it. You'll probably figure that out just from the synopsis, but here it is. Ivy and Ash, two top students, have dedicated their lives to proving their worth. For over a decade, their rivalry has been filled with scheming, blackmailing, and everything in between. Their senior year is finally here, and each of them has decided this is finally going to be the year they outshine the other. Each of their plans has begun to unfold perfectly until one night they find each of their best friends standing over a body. Will they be able to find the truth before it's too late, or will their years of competition ruin their chances of clearing their friends' names? I hope that makes sense, because, like, sometimes as a writer I struggle. I'm like, wait, if I write that, is it going to make sense to somebody else? Because, like, obviously it makes sense to me in my head, but if it doesn't make sense, I'll kind of explain it. Ash and Ivy, they're coming home, this is the opening scene. They're coming home from a party, or coming back to the dorms. Well, they're actually at the main hall. You'll figure out why later. But they walk in, and Ivy's best friend and Ash's best friend is standing over a body. So, hopefully that, not you, Siri. Hopefully that made sense. Next, this project is fairly new, but it has honestly corrupted my entire mind space, because yeah, it's completely corrupted everything. So this project is called Faceless. It's a dystopian literary fiction that focuses more on mental health, and I don't know why I said and, that's it. So yeah, this is the little blurb. Seeing the face of another is rare, but not impossible. The curse has infected the world for about 4 centuries now. The Crows, also known as the richest family, have been in control for as long as anyone can remember. One day, Lydia gets an invitation for an interview to work in the mansion of the Crows. As she enters this new world, she finds someone from her past, and together they uncover the secrets no one was ever meant to see. So, originally, I just wanted this. The original idea just came from a picture on Pinterest I saw. This was the picture. And I was thinking, a world with faceless people. Well, they're not faceless, they have like a blur over their face. But I feel like my thought was, wait, that would be so much fun to write, because I could write something where nobody could see each other's faces, and then I could focus more on dialogue and body language and just context clues. And I haven't written anything for this, but I am very, very excited to. I'm so excited to read this book. It's been occupying my mental space for so long. So those are the only 3 projects that I have an actual blurb for. These other 2 are just ideas at the moment. But yeah, so the next one's called Poison and Petals, which is a little bit inspired by Rapunzel, or Tangled. Not too heavily inspired. I just kind of took the magic flower. I always kind of loved that idea, and recently I watched Tangled 3 times in the span of 2 days. It was just like giving me more and more ideas for this project. But it's basically in a world where magic has been completely banned. It is seen as irresponsible to use, and people just abused it too much to the point where the kingdom was like, you know what, y'all lost your privileges, we're done, you're not allowed to use this anymore. And there's this herbalist, and she has always had a love for plants and flowers, and one day she's just doing some of her normal little tests, and she finds out that this certain flower can heal, and she tests more and more flowers, and she figures out that each of these different flowers have different magical properties. And it goes on from there, and then obviously the kingdom starts to find out that there's somebody using magic, because before nobody knew that the flowers had magical properties. It was just magic in general that was banned. So she was thinking, well, technically I'm not using magic, so does it really matter? So that's kind of the vibes we're going for. I'm so excited to write that too. Oh my goodness. And then the last project I'll talk about is Project Mayhem. I know I'm repeating myself like 60,000 times, but I am so excited to write this story. Like, you literally have no idea how much I'm so excited. This is a fantasy dystopian, and I don't know much about it, but I do know that it's going to be written from the perspective of a villain. I've always thought the idea, I've never read a book like it. I know there's books out there with this kind of a plot, but it's a group of villains, and they're, I don't want to say too much, but they're planning their final strike against a certain someone or group of people that I'm not going to say because I don't want to spoil it. But I've always wanted to write a book that only focuses like on the dark side of a story, or like just purely the dark side, because I feel like obviously villains are usually so misunderstood and complex characters. So I just wanted to write a book that just focused on that side. So I'm so excited. Like, you have no idea. I'm so excited for this. So yeah, that's it for like the projects. Or that's not it. This was my favorite question. Whoever asked this question, thank you so much. Is there any specific media or literature that inspires your work in progress? And I'm going to answer that for every single one of my projects because I love my projects. So, unspoken words, honestly, it's not inspired too much by any sort of literature or media as far as my other projects are, but unspoken words mainly just came from my head. It is a dark academia kind of vibe, you can see. I know a book that might be similar to it is The Secret History. I personally have not read it yet. I'm in the middle of reading a book, and The Secret History is what I'm reading afterwards, so I'll update you guys and I'll tell you if it is similar, but from what I've heard, I think it might have similar vibes. But unspoken words is not like that stereotypical like book where people say, oh yeah, this is dark academia, but in reality it just has like the Pinterest vibe of dark academia, and it's not actually, if you know what I mean. But this book is it's not a thriller. I don't want to say it's a thriller, but it has a very eerie vibe to it. Like, obviously things are going on behind the scenes. Like, it's not strictly just like, oh, it's academic rivals lovers, that's what it's all about. It has other elements to it. I just wanted to like make that clear so there's no misinformation, because originally when I first read the book, I was like 14, and obviously my 14-year-old self, loving romance and loving enemies to lovers, I was like, you know what, I need to make this all about the romance and nothing else. So obviously the book turned out not that good, but explaining the whole journey with that book will be, I actually have a blog post about it. I do have a blog, by the way, if you want to check that out. I only have like 3 things up right now, but I'm trying to get more consistent with it. So as time will come, I promise I will be becoming more consistent with different things. So yeah, I would say Dead Poet Society is definitely a big inspiration, especially for Ash, which is one of the main characters. This is Ash and Ivy, by the way, if you're curious what they look like. I would say another big inspiration to that book is the song This Is Me Trying by Taylor Swift. If you know, you know, but that song is very much a big inspiration for the book. Yeah. Next project is Project Eclipse, and I can very, very proudly say that this book is heavily inspired by Arcane. If you don't know what Arcane is, I don't know what to tell you, but I've been a fan since 2021. I love Arcane. It is what inspired this book, because you know how Arcane kind of has that futuristic feel but also doesn't. My Project Eclipse is more that futuristic cyberpunk feel, but character-wise and kind of plot-wise and just like vibe-wise, that is what Project Eclipse is. It's very I would say very similar to Arcane. It's just inspired me a lot to create my own ideas. So I wouldn't say a thing where it's like, oh, if you like Arcane, you'll love my book. Well, I hope you'll like my book. But it's just more of, it gave me a lot of inspiration to create new ideas for the book in general. I got so excited about Arcane, I completely forgot about everything else. Project Eclipse is also inspired by the AM album by Arctic Monkeys. Specifically, Do I Want to Know? I play that song on repeat, and that entire album on repeat. I've been playing it on repeat for the past 2 days as I've been plotting the book, because I actually tried to start I tried to start drafting it, but it just wasn't working, so I'm having to replot it. I've been replotting it for like over a week now. It's taking longer than I would like it to, but it's gonna get done, I swear. I looked at my notes so I don't forget anything. Project Eclipse is also inspired by Who's Afraid of Little Old Me by Taylor Swift and by Mad Woman by Taylor Swift. We can tell I love Taylor Swift. But specifically, I really like, if you're interested, curious, my favorite albums are Tortured Poets Department and Folklore and Reputation, but mainly Tortured Poets Department and Folklore, because the lyricism, is that how you say it? Lyricism, don't bully me, is just so beautiful and inspired my poetry a lot. So yeah. And then for Faceless, that is inspired by also This Is Me Trying and The Prophecy. It's a very, Faceless is truly literary fiction. It is more character driven than plot driven. I think that is it for now. I hope you enjoyed this video of me talking about my books and talking about me a little bit. Hopefully at least one of my projects intrigues you. You'll learn more about me and my projects and new projects as more videos come out. But I will see you next time. And before I go, I want to mention I do have an Etsy shop where I sell resources for writers. I'll have that link down below. I have a Substack account where I'm going to be posting some short stories very soon. And I think that's it. I have my blog, like I said, and my Instagram. So everything will be linked down below. If you're interested, you can go check all of them out. But I will see you guys next time. And yeah, so make sure to subscribe, like this video, and share it with your other writer friends. Bye!